Good morning.
It is.
So my question or desire for a greater knowing is about allowing. I remember in the past there was the laws given, the law of attraction, that which it, like itself is drawn unto itself, the law of creation. If you intend something and allow it to be, it must be. And then what was the law of allowing?
Well, allowing is being in the receptive mode. Allowing is recognizing that you've already set it into motion. It already exists vibrationally, but you've got to be in vibrational sync with it in order to realize it. In other words, we can know it. We can know it. Our friend knows it. We can know it. But for you to know it, you've got to be vibrationally up to speed with it. That's all that the allowing mode is, the receptive mode.
So allowing, look, as when I sat down in this chair, I didn't think about that this chair was going to support me. I knew it wasn't a thought. Like with that kind of faith or with that kind of knowing is what you consider to be, or what I need to experience is allowing, by identifying with myself as a human form. In past cases, there's been a lot of lack, a lot of fear, a lot of, worry and doubt and stuff like that.
A lot of disallowing.
A lot of disallowing. But I started a process where I would not focus on my physical self, but focus on my vibrational self, my eternal self, my true self, which is abundant and pure.
So what you're saying to us, and this is really good, you found a way to focus yourself on the same subject, but around the obstacles of disallowing, by going general enough that there was no resistance in the thought.
Yes.
Good.
All right, then that basically was the confirmation I was desiring, that that's a good process or a good method to use when thinking about wealth, right? I tend to receive an abundance of money. I tend to include abundance of dollars in my experience, right?
This is the nice thing about what we were saying to you already this morning. And you're helping us say it in an even more clear way with the examples that you're offering here. So let's say that your desire, as you say, life has caused you to put a tremendous amount of wealth into your vibrational reality. But now you're getting a little impatient. You're saying, all right, Abraham, I get it. It's in my vortex. How do I get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? How does the vibration become a reality for me? And we say, well, you've got to get yourself in the receptive mode so that the impulses that begin to occur to you, so that you can follow the path toward the resources and the abundance that you're wanting. But let's say you're like a lot of people, and the condition of your current bank account has your undivided attention. So you just keep noticing the money's just not there. In fact, there's just not enough money. So then we say, and others have been saying it for a long time too, although almost no one really understands what it means. We want you to have unconditional love. We want you to have unconditional abundance. We want you to have unconditional clarity, which means we want you to no longer focus upon the condition that's preventing you from the receptive mode. Because the condition, you're facing the reality. You're facing the condition, and the condition is causing you to activate a vibration that is contrary to the vibrational reality that you want. So you can't get in the receptive mode because you're too much in the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality mode. So you've got to find a way to be unconditional. Now that's the reason that we began with you this morning the way we did. So here's all of this abundance over here. It is consciousness, and it is abundance, and it is yours. It's got your name on it. It's yours. You put it there. It's been assimilated for you. It is your wealth. It's yours. But you can't see it because you're over here looking at your bank statement. So we say, don't look at that anymore. You've got to find a way to no longer look at the condition of money. You've got to find another way of translating that vibration into what? Into an emotion, into a feeling of freedom, into a feeling of ease, into a feeling of choices, into a feeling. In other words, Don't try to spend it right now. Just enjoy the feeling of the prosperity of it. Now, if you're able to do that, then you'll practice the vibration of it instead of the vibration of the absence of it. And in your unconditionality, you will find yourself a vibrational match to this. So as you find yourself a vibrational match to this, then ideas come. Your timing gets better. Your rendezvousing gets better. Your point of attraction gets better. Things start breaking loose for you. Opportunities start coming. All kinds of things. Because, you see, the universe, your source, your inner being, knows every avenue. In fact, in every moment, there are 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 viable, receptive mode avenues for you to follow. But if you're focused upon how much money's in the bank, then in your conditional attention, the trees falling all around you in the forest, and you're not hearing any of it because you're not vibrationally in sync with it, because your facing reality has you in a whole different frequency. It'll never be said more clearly than that. So what are you going to do with that?
To feel wealthy, what it feels like to be abundant. And
so instead of talking about money, let's talk about vibrational currency.
Wealth.
Instead of talking about wealth, let's talk about vibrational currency. Let's talk about wealth as it applies to freedom. Let's talk about wealth as it applies to ease of moving around. Let's talk about wealth as it applies to lifestyle. Let's talk about wealth as it applies to clarity, as it relates to vitality, as it relates to flexibility.
I fear my future and regret my past, or
Yeah, well, most people do in some regard. So there's something to be said. If you fear your future and regret your past, there's something to be said for focusing in the moment. So in the present moment, just allowing a complete realization. So we have some questions for you. Do you accept that you are an extension of source energy?
Yes.
Jerry does too. Do you accept that there is a vibrational version of you aware of you?
Yes.
And flowing to you at all times?
I do.
Isn't that a reason for some conscious sense of security?
It does, and I've never looked at it.
But you want to apply it to the conditions. You want to apply it to the conditions of wealth. You say you don't want to talk about the conditions, and yet they are rampant in your vibration.
They are.
You're not yet asking for what we're asking you to ask for, which is something that you've already got. So if you would accept that you already have that direct connection to the security that you're asking for, and you could revel and bask in that sense of security, then everything that matches that would flow into your experience as manifestation or realization or validation or confirmation of a vibrational stance.
Okay. What you just said to me had a little click in my brain happened, okay? So, all right, I do realize that I am a extension of source energy. I do realize that there is I'm aware that there is a vibrational part of myself that is aware of me.
Just for a moment, feel that awareness. Feel that awareness. Feel that awareness and call it security. Call it source energy focused on me and feel it. Feel it.
It's like being home.
Feel it. It's well-being. It's comfort and well-being. Feel it. Just rest in that. Don't need it to be about anything else, and don't need it to be the ulterior motive to get somewhere else. Just let that be what that bees, and stop trying to make it be other things for a while. And if you let it be what it bees until it bees it really steadily, then in it being that, abundance of all nature will be yours.
So allow that without conditions, without receiving.
And that takes a little bit of focus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Some of you have to be arguing, well, I would like to just sit here and be. It would be nice if we could just be together and not have to go to work or not have to provide for our family. It would be nice if we could just be. And we're saying, well, then just try to be a little more. Just let yourself be the translator of the vibration just that far. Don't try to take it all the way to the bank right now.
Yeah.
Just take it that far. You can take it that far. You took it that far already.
Yep.
Most of you took it that far already. Let that be far enough. That's what we're asking of you. Let that be far enough translation. Let that be the success that you're looking for, because we promise you all these conditions that you want to be realities, you want them because you believe in the having of them. You will feel better. Well, when you show yourself that you can feel better whether you have them or not, then they have to circle back and give themselves to you. They have to. But if you need them to be before you feel that, then you don't feel that, and then you've short-circuited, and then you can't get there. But if you can be that, and some people say, why are you feeling so good? Because I feel utterly secure. Did a bunch of money come in? Vibrational currency, yes. What are you talking about? Abraham crap again? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I have accomplished a state of being that has brought me the benefit of clarity and well-being. And right now, that's enough for me. That's the success that I'm looking for. That's the success that I'm looking for. And it is our promise to all of you that as you practice it and sustain it a little while, and practice it and sustain it a little while, practice it and sustain it a little while, your point of attraction will shift. There will be evidence of all manner of things that will come just as a result of this conversation that we've had so far. Even though you weren't on the stage, even though you may have not even been really listening with your ears, the vibrational stuff that's happened in this room has shifted you vibrationally. You are in a different vibrational point of attraction than you've ever been before. And circumstances of your life are going to demonstrate the shift in your vibration as a result of this conversation. It's our promise to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the wealth is already yours because you already have access to this infinite intelligence. The wealth is already yours because you already have access to this vibrational currency. The wealth is already yours. The unconditional wealth is already yours. Revel in that. Revel in the unconditional vibrational access that you have. Let that be your singular goal for a little while, and watch all the other evidence that comes in response to that accomplishment.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.